Working in a virtual team can be challenging, especially when team members are not effectively collaborating. When team members are not communicating effectively, it can lead to misunderstandings and mistakes that could have easily been avoided. When team members are not fully engaged, they may miss important information or fail to contribute their expertise, leading to missed opportunities and suboptimal outcomes. In order to overcome these challenges and work effectively in a virtual team, it is essential to develop strategies and frameworks that can promote effective collaboration. With the right tools and strategies, virtual teamwork can be just as productive and rewarding as working in person. So what can businesses employ?
In today's technically advanced world, remote work has become the new normal, where employees are working virtually, meaning online. To enhance virtual teamwork, we, Bella, Kerry, Patrick, Sumit, and Tess present the Split Framework. We will discuss key aspects of virtual teams, explore the Split Framework, and highlight the importance of implementing such a framework in workplace practices. Ultimately, the Split Framework helps to create an effective virtual team that achieves their goals as well as improve business performance.
We'll begin by looking into what a virtual team is. A virtual team is a group of people who collaborate and share information from different geographic locations. They make use of technology such as video and audio conferencing. Many of these teams lack a centralized home base or do not visit their headquarters very often. The teammates work together by using technology such as cloud computing. The structure of virtual teams varies depending on the industry, company, and department. The teammates work on a single project but under different managers or team leaders. Some of the virtual employees follow a 9 to 5 schedule, while others are allowed a more flexible pattern where they work whenever they want to. So now that we know what a virtual team is, we look into what makes an effective team.
So now you know what a virtual team is, I'm going to discuss what makes an ineffective team. What should we not be aiming for? Whilst participating in a team, you should not be inattentive to the purpose or results of the task, which can lead to confusion. Avoid responsibilities or have a lack of accountability. A business without regular check-ins can create team members to not feel accountable for their work, which can lead to missed deadlines or subpar work. Have a lack of commitment, have a fear of conflict. Standing up against someone's idea can be scary, but in the long run could benefit the team. And lack trust. This is especially important, as not having trust in the team you are in can inhibit collaboration, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. Now, what makes a virtual team effective? An effective team has the ability to change. They must be able to pivot quickly in response to changing circumstances, deadlines, or unexpected priorities. An effective team relies on clear planning, making sure team members are clear on roles, deadlines, etc. They also should utilize a democratic approach to decision making, irrespective of hierarchical position. An effective team has freedom and autonomy of their own responsibilities. The team has diversity. A diverse team is more likely to produce innovative ideas. Leadership. A good leader can provide direction and support while fostering collaboration, leading into my next point, collaboration. And finally, utilizing the right efficient technology is a very important one for virtual teams. Virtual teams need the right technology to effectively and efficiently communicate. So we know what makes a good or bad virtual team. So now following, we are going to discuss how business can use this information as well as use the Split Framework to create an effective virtual team.
Based on what we learned in the tutorial, after discussion, we think that Split Framework is very useful for managers to improve their groups. Hi, this is Telling. I'm going to give you a brief introduction about Split Framework based on my understanding. As we know that each letter symbolizes different aspects. S represents structure, P process, L language, I identity, T technology. S refers to perception of power leading to in-group or out-group. which means that employees in different area or countries may have imbalanced power, leading to misunderstanding. Therefore, managers must reconnect employees in terms of three aspects, namely who we are, what we do, and supporting all employees. Process. Process refers to importance of building opportunity for employees to familiarize and get to know each other before the virtual meeting. Language. Definitely, there is fluency gap between members when members use a common language. Therefore, members who have good fluency should leave space for others to share their opinions and avoid using informal language. Identity. Understanding the cultural and regional criteria that may cause miscommunication is extremely important. All team members must be willing to ask and answer questions when they have conflicts. Technology. Utilizing technology to decrease social distance during the meeting. For instance, Zoom. Therefore, employees could experience better interaction between each other. As needless say, decision on structure builds opportunity for good process, which can mitigate the difficulties of language and identity issues. If leaders utilize technology such as Zoom, the social distance would shrink. Now, Patrick will introduce how to utilize split framework into workplace. Thank you.
I'm going to continue with examples of split framework practices to use at work. To help team structure and its power balance, teams can talk about each of their diverse culture and backgrounds while respecting those differences by implementing zero tolerance policy of cultural insensitivity. Remind each other of their shared purpose and organization goals, and lastly by keeping in touch with each other, especially members who are located far away. To help team establish empathy connection, teams can be aware of how others see them through everyday behaviors, intentionally create opportunities for members to small talk and get to know each other, and create opportunities and encourage team members to disagree. To minimize language and fluency gap, teams can teach strong speakers to slow down and learn active listening, encourage less fluent speakers to contribute and let others know if they do not understand something. To prevent mismatch of perceptions and identities in teams, the team itself can encourage leaders and team members to step out of their traditional roles. To overcome technology and connection challenge, teams can encourage people to assess the information and situation before finally choosing the appropriate method of communication. Communicate through multiple platforms or even use redundant communication. Our group suggested that the split framework has already been reflected in workplace realities because executing practices from last slide will result in these advantages which I will discuss. For team structure, the split framework helps teams to correct their perceived power balance while reminding members that the team is a single entity. This is done by reminding members of corporate goals and building a cohesive team which encourages sensitivity. In regards to empathy and its process, the split framework helps teams to foster a sense of mutual understanding, whether it is from disagreement, which allows time for people to evaluate agenda and contribute ideas, unstructured time, which allows knowledge sharing, coordinating, and monitoring of interactions, and building relationships, or even feedback from routine interactions, which prevents other members from sending the wrong signal through their everyday behavior. For language and fluency gap, Aside from encouraging knowledge sharing, coordination, and decision making, which will result in better performance results, the SPRIT framework also helps to mitigate less fluent members become inhibited and withdraw. Practice examples from last slide will encourage strong speakers to actively listen and less fluent speakers to contribute, which will balance participation. For identity and perceptions, the split framework encourages people to learn from one another. This can be done by encouraging both leaders and members to step out of their traditional roles. An example of it will be team members taking more responsibility for the team or leaders seeking for input. Lastly, for technology and connection, Split Framework suggests the appropriate method of communication by being able to discern which type of information is being relayed. Also, Split Framework ensures messages are understood and remembered by using several platforms to communicate or redundant communication. Our group suggests that there are 3 reasons why the Split Framework has not been reflected in workplace activities. It is because a new framework implementation will be strenuous, time-consuming, and costly. Implementing a new framework would cause burden for human resource department, as they would have to prepare new training materials. Employees would have difficulty going through changes, and lower class to middle class employees would undergo a new method of training and adaptation while still having to maintain their best working performance. Both of these examples exhibit HR department and employees having to go through a lot of time-consuming work which requires a lot of effort and later may result in declining work performance.
After carefully analyzing the split framework, understanding the different aspects of the split framework, the 5 words, that is structure, process, language, identity, and technology, the group collectively came up with some examples of organizations that may use split framework. These examples are of companies such as Apple, Amazon, and Tesla. We all know Apple is known for their brand identity and technology, the 2 important aspects in the split framework. Apple has also been successful in creating a strong leadership culture, which has resulted in high employee engagement and a positive work culture. By focusing on split framework, Apple has been able to increase its revenue, expand its customer base, and improve its brand reputation. The next example is Amazon, a company known for its ability in leveraging technology to streamline its operation and enhance the customer experience of its current customers. The company has invested heavily in employee development and leadership training, which has resulted in high employee engagement, and high employee retention. By focusing on split framework, especially the technological aspect, Amazon has been able to increase its profitability, expand into new market, and dominate the e-commerce industry. The third example is Tesla, a company who is heavily dependent on technology. Overall, we believe the split framework is a very important aspect that should be practiced in every workplace.
Working in a virtual team can be highly effective when team members are collaborating effectively. When team members are communicating effectively, everyone is on the same page, leading to a shared understanding of objectives and tasks. When team members are fully engaged, everyone has an opportunity to contribute their expertise, leading to creative and innovative solutions. By using effective collaboration strategies and frameworks, such as the split framework, virtual teamwork can be highly productive and rewarding, leading to successful outcomes and satisfied team members.